Senior Report thanks Edmund Besh of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding for Senior Report is provided in part by a grant from Andrew Goodell, Assemblyman for the 150th District of the New York State Assembly. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And with that dramatic introduction, what a beautiful day we have here in our lovely, beloved Chautauqua County. And it's perfect weather for skiing and for snowmobiling and for ice skating, I guess, in some small places. Be careful. But it looks like we're in for winter now, even though it's not winter yet. Coming up in a week. I want to thank everybody who congratulated us on our season. We've had almost over almost 900 shows now. My word, how it goes. We've got another great show coming up now. Today we have Chef Jim Powers, who happens to be a distant relation of mine. And Jim is going to be showing us how to make easy but most elegant, wonderful hors d'oeuvres. And he's going to spend a little time with you. And you can call in and ask him any questions you may have about gourmet food. He's a gourmet chef. He also works over Chautauqua quite a bit as a chef. And there's a lovely family over there that he takes care of, the Jack Bailey and Kay Bailey family. And their family is basically founders of Chautauqua, and he's one of their biggest supporters, I'll tell you, Jack Bailey. All right, guys, here we go. We have a couple of announcements to make. First of all, I noticed something funny. You watch the news, and the news all the time is just there's very little happening in Washington right now because of the tussle between the Republicans and Democrats. But we have a choir meeting. Somebody called in. I want to mention that. There's going to be a choir at the Methodist Church in Ripley today. This is Saturday. Let's make sure we've got the right Saturday down here, friends. The 14th, halfway through. Okay, we have Saturday the 14th today. There's a choir meeting, a choir performance in the Ripley Methodist Church. It'll be at 4:30 in the afternoon. So you want to get out and hear some pretty sweet music, and you're close by. We're supposed to get another foot of snow out there, if that's possible. I don't know where we're going to put it all. I cleaned my car off late last night, and I had to do it again this morning. It's incredible. All right, guys. I've got a little bit of news here for you. First of all, let me put the cheaters on. I didn't do it in dark print. Okay, there's a lady at Mount Carmel Social Club wants to remind us they're having a Christmas luncheon December 18th at the Colony House in Irving. You know, that's a great place. 12:30 it starts. There's next meeting for the crowd over there at the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Social Club will be a soup and bread day, and that'll be the 15th of December. That's tomorrow, Sunday. No meeting January 1st, of course. Everybody's recuperating. Hi, Mary and Marv Smith, new people, dropped around, ran the auction, incidentally. They did a little auction. There were many senior groups raised funds for worthwhile charities in their area. Sheridan Happy Seniors, Arlene Miller did the job over there, and I just want to say happy birthday to Gertie Seiper, an old timer over there, has been around a long time with us. They're going to have a party also at the Colony on Tuesday, December 10th, which happened last week. They said it was a great party, incidentally. The next meeting is going to be December 20th at 1, and Florence Gage, Clara Griffin, and Betty Kuzora are going to be doing the honors with the goodies. Great Belt Seniors, they meet over in Fredonia at the Mason Hall. CASA is going to be over there. CASA is a group that takes care of children, I might add, and you may be interested in it. Kathy Park is the director, and she'll be telling them all about it. They're taking a trip to the old Canada to the Seneca Casino December 13th. And now this is the 14th, so they all lost their money by now. They're going to have exercise classes December 16th coming up, and they do a stretch class, and they have a board meeting at 10:15 December 18th, and a lot of other wonderful things. It's just too much to mention over there. They're having a 3-day trip to New York City from June 10th to 12th, incidentally. 2 nights at the Hotel Edison, which is a nice little hotel, a boat cruise to Ellis Island, a Broadway musical, and a visit to the 9/11 Memorial. If you're interested in that trip, and it's going to be a dilly, and they often take people who are not members of the local club. They often take people who are not even seniors if they want to fill a bus. So give them a check, 672, here's the number, 672-5274. And you may register for this trip and have a great time with the Great Belt Seniors in New York City. Silver Creek, Ed Newman does the job over there. I just want to say they always have bingo at the end, like all senior groups. Suski did the job. Charles St. George of the seniors, which incidentally is a great, the United Senior Club is a great bunch. And they have hundreds of people. All the top seniors around go there. Charles St. George has been running it since the year 1, I believe. And Father Walter Werbicki gives the homily, and he did one on the true meaning of Christmas, which is something interesting for sure, because we seem to lose track of it in terms of all the toys. Last meeting of 213 was that meeting. The next meeting will be March 10th next year. Beavertail Catering will do the job. They have a wonderful dinner. All right, I'm sorry, they're telling me we're running out of time because we have an extra guest who will be giving us a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to put this guy on right now. John is the mayor of Sherman, and he will introduce himself, and then he's got an announcement for you. Here you go. You're on, John.
Good morning, everybody. John Patterson, Mayor of Sherman, New York. Our Sherman Day celebration next year will be August 2nd, 2014. In order to raise a few funds for them, I have agreed to let my hair grow, untrimmed, uncut.
You're doing pretty well already.
Yes, it's getting pretty shaggy. My wife keeps reminding me. We're also going to contribute half of the funds to the Roswell Cancer Research Center. They're struggling terribly. There are 12 million cancer survivors in the United States right now. My wife is a 2-time cancer survivor. And once we get the Sherman Day Committee $1,250 to put their celebration on, all the rest of the money is going to go to Roswell Cancer Center research. And I've got it figured out now that if my hair grows a 32nd of an inch each day, it will be over 10 inches long by the time they get a chance to shave my head. And it could go then for Locks for Love, for a hair weave.
Are you going to wear a beard?
No beard. I
No
couldn't
beard,
grow
huh?
a beard in 20 years, but I can grow hair. We are going to set our sights reasonable at $2,500. We've only been working on it for about a month now. We're already at 1,000, and I'm hoping that by the time we get done, we've got between $5,000 and $10,000 to donate to cancer research. If you want to purchase a ticket for a chance to shave my head, they're only $5. We're also accepting donations to the Cancer Society. They're all tax deductible. And you can get a hold of us anytime at the Village Hall at 761-6781. Ann Gilbert would address your concerns. And I was reading the other day about the Jimmy V Foundation. Jimmy Valvano, former coach at Duke University, is also putting on a drive for cancer research, and they need every penny they can get.
Roswell Park. Now, where are they going to shave your head?
They're gonna set up a barber chair right at the corner of Miller Street and Main.
Right on
in
Main
Sherman.
Street? Right in the middle of the street or off to the side?
Right in the middle of
You
the street.
could get run over by a wild man.
No, we're going to be right in the middle of the street, and first ticket out of the barrel gets to put a shave with the clippers right down the middle of my head, and we'll keep drawing tickets until the hair's gone. And like I say, then we'll raffle off the highest bidder who gets to shave me right down to bald. And I taught school at Sherman for 33 years. I had about 1,100 kids go through my classes. I got it figured out if each one of those kids bought a ticket, we'd have $5,500 there. And I'm sure there's plenty of those kids that'd love to shave my head.
I'll throw things at you. Maybe you ought to have a tomato throw too, you know? That might be another winner.
We could do that, but I'll tell you, as shaggy as you look right now, I think you ought to throw in with me and get your head shaved too.
Yeah, believe me, I will get it. I get a haircut religiously every single 6 months, whether it needs it or not. Yeah. Well, you know, you can trim it in front easily, but the back is hard to get to. So what I do is just trim the front a little bit and then let it grow out. And when it gets unbearable, I go to my barber. Okay, John Patterson, thank you for your
Could
work.
I give one more plug here?
One quick, okay.
All right. I just want to say how grateful I am to Roswell Park, because had my wife not gotten the wonderful, wonderful care and treatment that she got with her last dose involving chemotherapy, I'm sure she wouldn't be here with us. And if you think of it right now, if you look at Westfield right now, 4% of the population of every village in town and city in the United States represents cancer survivors. So please open up your wallets, open up your hearts, support this program so that we can help them out.
There you go. And there's no family in the area that hasn't been touched by cancer, believe me, John, because we're in a cancer belt that runs right across this area. John Patterson, mayor of that beautiful little town, Sherman, New York. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
We're going to have a public service announcement for you. They tell me that then John Hamels is going to pop up. Here you go.
Training is about more than muscle. It's about inner strength. So I push myself. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. I train with the best, a team that shares my drive and commitment. We collect intelligence, guard our shores against drug smugglers, and keep our waterways safe, because our nation expects more.
If you expect more, maybe you were born ready. Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
And here we go. Jerry Roosh of Roosh Plumbing. Wait a minute. Jerry Roosh of Roosh Plumbing does a great job over in Westfield. If you need some plumbing, he's inexpensive, he's affordable, as they say now, and he does a great job. And you can give him a call anytime you want. He's in the phone book. Roosh Plumbing. This is not actually Jerry Roosh. This happens to be John Hamels. We also call him Doc. Doc, You're on, and shoot from the hip, man. You're on.
Holy mackerel.
Oh,
He
whoa.
said Jerry Roosh. I didn't know who I was. Well, John Patterson was just on here, and he's talking about cutting his hair. I don't know about you, but most of us are trying to keep our hair. I could do one of these. Whoop,
Yeah, well, we have to camouflage it. You comb
Yeah.
it. You learn how to comb it so that it looks like you got a lot of hair.
I've tried to negotiate my wife to grow back my old rock and roll hair. I used to have it down to my shoulders, but like you, every 4 months I seem to get hijacked by my daughter and my wife. They're both cosmetologists, so I'm kind of like stuck. I have no choice.
You wake up in the morning.
Yeah,
you've
I wake
already
up and I got a haircut.
You got a haircut.
I don't have any choice. Well, anyways, so that sounds. But John, he's over on the side here. You guys can't see him, but you got to come back just before, so we can see what you look like the before and after, huh?
I'll be back.
You'll be back.
I can't wait to see that one. All right. Well, this is the part of the show. We always remind you folks that you can call in and give us an announcement, share a birthday or whatever. So this is my turn. Want to wish my wife a happy 32nd anniversary. How she puts up with me, I do not know. But anyways, Barb, happy anniversary. It was Wednesday, and we're just having a good old time. Tonight, if anybody's out in the Frewsburg area, I'm Doc and Bill. Bill and I are going to be at the...
Jerry Roosh, aren't you?
Jerry, I don't know who I am. You got me all mixed up here. Jeez. I'm having enough trouble just negotiating the roads, let alone who I am. I get my wallet out here in a minute. I'll be at the Corner Coffee House and Bistro from 6:30 to 8:30. We're going to be playing some Irish tunes and stuff like that, as you all know. That's in Frewsburg. Just real quick, because we don't want to take up a lot of time, because I can't wait to see what Jim is going to cook up here. He's got an avocado icy. That's one of my favorite foods in the whole world. We've been talking about gun control, and Reed is always talking about how crazy it is and how stupid it is and illegal and so forth. And I have never disagreed with him, which is pretty unusual when we come on some of these issues, because I don't think that's the issue, and I've said that time and time again. Just this week, we had two incidences in our national news. Of course, unfortunately, another shooting with a mentally unbalanced student. That angry young man syndrome I keep talking about, the ages like 17, 16 through 30. Look at all the shootings, Reed, that we've had in the last 2 years, 3 years. Every one of them has some type of mental illness or mental instability, and it had nothing to do with the fact whether they could get a gun or not. All right,
because they used in the past, they used to burn houses down.
Right.
These same people, or they attack with a knife. But now the gun is around, and so they have a scapegoat, the gun.
Right. Well, what I'm getting at is we really have skirted the issue, and I have seen some postings and some programs that are getting out there more and more, putting focus back on mental illness. Is one of those things that sometimes we're born with, or we're not born, or born with, or born without. But the point is that these folks need help. It's not necessarily their fault in many cases, because they're born with this element. They need some help. And society, we've moved all the way from asylums and institutions to this kind of community support system, but then they cut all the funding on all that. So it didn't work out. We got a lot of people out there that are struggling, and because of that, we're seeing, I think, my opinion only, but I think it's supported by a lot of the research, that we're seeing a lot of these folks getting themselves into situations that are really dangerous. And the second incident was down in Africa, the bizarre signer right next to President Obama. I mean, this is not just a United States problem. This is worldwide. So I'm going to keep focusing on this from time to time on mental health. I think we really need to focus on this. Back to you,
Thank you, John, and I quite agree with you. The big problem is not guns or knives or fire or anything. It's mental health, and they are cutting funding right and left. They used to have hospitals and places where they could go and get care, get therapy, and be possibly redeemed. They're all gone. Now the new mental health facility is the prison. They go to jail because they do something bizarre on the street, they get arrested, and they go to jail. We need mental health and a lot of it. Let's forget about the weapons of mass destruction. They aren't really there. All right, guys, we have a great show. We're going to change tune now. And I'm going to, first of all, I want to, somebody called in and gave me a warning. The government, which had Bernie Madoff, stole billions and billions of dollars from people. And who was at fault? Well, one guy had caught on to what was going on and written several letters to the Security and Exchange Commission saying, here you are promoting this guy. He's a swindler. He's running a Ponzi scam. Well, they just ignored it. The SEC ignored it. And sure enough, people lost billions, and they should have put the SEC people in jail. No, I see right now they're attacking the banks. Not the SEC, the banks who gave bad mortgages. Hey, maybe we ought to get the government attacking the government, which is what really should be going on here. The SEC knew in total and in advance what was going on. They ignored it, and they continued to sell his bonds. Oh, my gosh. And now they're blaming the banks. Jim Powers. Jim Powers is my son, as many people know. And once a year or twice a year, he's good enough to come out and give us a demonstration of his cooking skills and improve your cooking skills. And he's going to tell you how to make a wonderful, elaborate, scrumptious hors d'oeuvres, just incredibly fine hors d'oeuvres. And you can do them in a wink, in a nick of time. They're fast, they're easy, elegant hors d'oeuvres. Jim Powers, you're on, Jimmy.
Hello, everyone. We have the holidays coming up, and of course, with the holiday, we have family and friends.
And I think Jim Powers is somewhere in the picture.
Yep, I'm here. There we are.
There we are.
Hi. And of course, with the holidays, we have family and friends, and of course, food. So I'm here to show you how to prepare 4 easy-made hors d'oeuvres. Time permitting here, I'm going to see how fast I can do this. We're going to start first with one of my favorites. My friends love this as well, and this is a guacamole. Okay, relatively simple. What we're going to start with the guacamole is 1 ripe avocado. Now,
Just give it to Jim.
you have to know what an avocado is.
Jim?
As far as ripeness.
You'll have to use a mic because, well, it's pretty hard to hold a mic though.
Yeah, it's,
Give him another one in a minute.
Okay. Your mic isn't working, Jim.
okay.
But here,
No, it's okay, I can use this.
no, you can use this. Here you go.
Nope, there we go.
Just flip that on.
Here we go, folks. I am going to put the mic on right here.
And I'll use this one.
There we go. Okay, we start with 1 ripe avocado. You gotta make sure it's ripe. It's just a matter of knowing how it's ripe. If you look at the color of the avocado on the outside, it starts turning brown when it's ripe. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop out the avocado here into a bowl.
It seems to come right. How do you get the, now you just use a spoon, right?
Yeah, you just use a spoon, basically. And what we can do is we
There's an
can
old chef's trick.
take the seed out.
Without
There we
cutting your hand off.
Yep. There we go. See? Seed right there. Okay. And we'll scoop out the other half here into the bowl. Now, as far as mashing it, a little easier than a spoon is forks. Okay?
And if
But-
you only had a fork,
No, I have a few forks.
there's behind
actually.
the bread. Yeah, I
Three.
see one sneaked over there.
Okay, and we're going to put that right there for now. Next, you need onion. Okay, I prefer with an avocado. Some people like sweet onions, which is right here. This is what you'd call a Bermuda onion. Okay,
Not
or-
a Vidalia.
No, this is it's part of the it is what a Vidalia is considered. It's a Bermuda onion. Okay, I prefer Spanish, or what you call a Grano Gran X. Okay, and that's a globe onion.
That's the kind you get at the supermarket.
That's the
right,
kind you get in the
normally.
supermarket.
In a big
yes.
bag.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice and dice. Oh, I would say for 1 avocado, about 2 tablespoons of onions. Okay. Oh. All right. And add that with the with the avocado. Okay, there we go. That should be enough there. And we're going to add that to the bowl. Okay, right here. All right. Next, we need fresh cilantro, okay? I can't stress it enough, folks, but use fresh cilantro. Dried cilantro is just not going to work with a guacamole. You won't get that fresh, pungent flavor that you get from fresh cilantro. So what we're going to do is we're going to dice up a little cilantro. Okay, like I said, for one avocado, probably about 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro. And you're going to add that right into your bowl here. All right, next we have sour cream. Okay, sour cream, for one avocado, you're going to use about, I would say 1 ounce or a nice dollop of sour cream.
About
okay?
a tablespoon, huh?
About 2 tablespoons is what you're going to use. You're going to add that, and what that does is give it just a little creamy texture besides the avocado, and that makes it a little easier to mash up. And finally, what you can do is, some people like to use fresh tomatoes. Me, I cheat a little. I use a medium salsa, okay, and what that does is it gives you a little liquid, it gives you your peppers, your onions, a little more tomato, and
So just plain salsa.
just plain salsa. It's real easy and actually gives it quite a bit of flavor as opposed to just using fresh tomatoes. Like I said, if you're a purist, of course, use a fresh tomato. A good tomato to use is a Roma. Okay, and you can. Now what I'm doing is I'm just giving it a quick mash and mixing it all together.
If you mix it, you mix it all. And if you mix it all, you sure mix it all together.
That's funny. If you watch the Food Network, so they'll tell you that we're mixing everything all together. A little redundancy. Okay, let's see. And it's starting to take form now. Now, a lot of people don't like the fact that a guacamole will turn brown very quickly. Now, a few things to do to make sure that that doesn't happen is, one, cover it with plastic. Okay, that way oxygen doesn't get in and make it brown. And 2, you use lemon. Okay,
It's flavor too, right?
and it's a little extra flavor. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to add just a little bit of lemon. I'd say maybe, about a teaspoon for that. And that gives it a nice flavor. Okay, and then like I said, you will mix everything all together. Finally, a little fresh ground pepper and a little salt to taste. Okay, and folks, there we have very simple, easy, and delicious guacamole for your friends.
How do you serve it?
Well,
What do you use a spoon or what?
No, what you use is chips. You can either use, I prefer Frito-Lay, the scoops are excellent because you can get a nice amount right on the chip, so you can load up on the guacamole instead of being real stingy on the guacamole. And then also, Tostitos has, I can show you here, they have the scoops that you can get a nice amount of guacamole. And here you go, Mr. Powers. Have a little taste of guacamole there. And set up a plate, and there you go. Voila, with your chips. And there you go. That's a guacamole. So that's our first hors d'oeuvre.
Put it right here.
Relatively simple.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And when you serve it, you might want to put it in the fridge for about an hour and chill it down so it's nice and cold for your guests. Okay, now, number 2, what we're going to show you is a bruschetta. All right? And I believe in Italian, bruschetta just means spread. What you want to start with, of course, is a French baguette. Okay, we have a baguette here. Now, I've taken the liberty of, just to save a little time, folks, toasting up the baguette. So it's all ready. And what you do is you slice them into, about quarter-inch slices. All right, see, about like that. And give it a light toast. What you do is brush on a little olive oil and toast your bread points. Okay, now we are going to start with fresh tomato. Okay, now Romas are actually a very good tomato to use for this. They have a nice thick outside. So what you're going to do is you're going to slice just the outside. You don't want too much of the juice because you're putting olive oil and balsamic vinegar into the mix anyway, so you want to just kind of keep the liquid down to a minimum. So what you do is you just slice the outside, okay, so you have the nice meaty part of a Roma tomato, and we are going to dice these pieces right up, okay. And this is something really easy that you can do, and people love a good bruschetta. When you go to restaurants, I mean, they can elaborate on a bruschetta. I like to, I mean, if I want to get a little complex, what I'll do is, besides the tomatoes and the fresh basil, I will add artichoke hearts. I think that really gives it a nice flavor. But for now, I'm just going to show you a simple bruschetta, which, like I said, starts with tomato, and if you could notice, what I'm doing is dicing it right now. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, folks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. But what I've done is I've diced up the tomato, and we're going to add that to a bowl. Okay. Next, we need fresh basil. Okay. Once again, folks, freeze-dried basil just doesn't work for this. You want fresh basil. Okay, and I am going to give that a quick chop. Here we go. And same thing. Fresh herbs. There's no substitute really when you're making a fresh dish like
Hold on
this.
one second here, Jim. We got a phone call. Somebody
Okay.
wants to ask you a question.
No problem.
Good morning, caller. You're on.
I have to make a comment that the annual Christmas program is going to be on at Mrs. Bishop's Dance Studio, and she has put in a device so that people like me that have a very difficult time, almost impossible to do steps, can get upstairs. One of those things that takes you up the stairs, because there's like 26 stairs to get to the studio. So anybody who wants to see a wonderful Christmas show, come out and see it.
Thank you, caller.
And I also would like to mention that Jim Powers, who's demonstrating his delicious culinary skills, I have been privileged to many times partake of them, and I can vouch for the fact that whatever recipes he's giving you are going to be good. He makes delicious hors d'oeuvres. He also makes the best crab bisque I've ever had in my whole life. And I'm old.
You sound very young, caller.
Thank you.
Okay, have a nice day.
Yeah, Merry
You
Christmas
too.
and all that deal.
Same to you
Happy
guys.
holidays and Happy New Year. Okay, John, Jim, you're back on.
Okay. Now we've diced up our tomatoes, our fresh basil. Okay, now what we're going to use is a little EVOO, as they would call, extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to use about 1 tablespoon. All right, we're going to drizzle that right in. Next, we are going to add,
Now, this is a bruschetta.
yeah, bruschetta. Okay, that's basically just a spread.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but it's a fresh tomato basil spread. Now, next, we're going to add a little balsamic. I'm using a red balsamic. Okay, a lot of people, and what I would use if you don't want the color in it is a nice white balsamic vinegar also. That is available in your stores. Okay, we have our tomatoes, our fresh basil, our balsamic vinegar, and we're just going to mix it all together.
Which reminds me, anybody who wants some avocado dip that's mixed all together, take the dish. It's sitting here under my nose and I can't stop eating it.
Oh.
I want somebody to help me.
Okay, now we've given it a quick mix. Next, a little fresh pepper. Okay, about a teaspoon of fresh garlic that I've taken the liberty of crushing previously, and we're going to add that in there. Okay. There we are. Maybe we need a little more oil here, folks. So I'm going to add just a touch more oil.
How do you tell?
You could just tell by how everything's mixing all together. Okay, there we are. Now, finally, the last touch, just a touch of lemon juice, maybe a half a teaspoon. I'm going to add to this. All right, and now you're going to have a nice mix of fresh tomatoes and basil. Now you take your toast points that I previously toasted and spread, I would say about, maybe 2 teaspoons on each piece. There we are. Okay.
And you snap it down.
And just repeat on each piece. And it's very delicious, folks. This is a excellent way to experience fresh basil. Can't get enough basil in this, believe me. Okay. And there we are.
Very good.
I'll show you. And that, my friends, is bruschetta. Okay. I can show you on the camera here. Okay, like I said, just a fresh tomato and basil bruschetta.
I'll have to taste that just to see if it's
There
good.
we are. Okay, well that's 2 hors d'oeuvres. Like I said, I promised you 4. So next, I'm going to show you a relatively simple one, yet people come back again and again for these. This is what I call a bacon wrapped shrimp. All right, and I'm going to show you a quick sauce that you use with this. How's that, bruschetta? Okay, folks. Now, what you want to do is you want to go to the supermarket and get about a 26 30-count shrimp. All right, I'll show you. That's about the size right there. All right. Now, when they give you a count, of course, it's per pound. So you want to get about a 26 30-count, ideally. All right. You'll need shrimp, water chestnuts, bacon. Now, in this, I'm going to tell you, first, what you want to do is you want to half cook the bacon before you begin. What happens is if you use raw bacon and you broil it in the oven, the shrimp is going to cook quickly, the bacon is not going to cook. So you want to start with about a half cooked bacon, and I'll show you. You get it so it's not quite crispy, still soft, so it's easy to manage. All right, now we will take our shrimp, okay, that's been peeled and veined, and give it a good crease down the middle. All right, we are going to add a water chestnut. Now you can buy these sliced. I prefer them whole so I can manage the size of them that I want. But slice is fine. Okay, now you're going to put it right in the crease. I don't know if you can see, folks. What I'm going to show you is we're going to put the water chestnut right in the crease where it's been split there. All right. Next, we take your piece of bacon, all right, and we are going to wrap that right around the shrimp and the water chestnut. Next, we take a toothpick and we put it through the shrimp, through the water chestnut and the bacon, and we'll get that right there. All right, I'm going to put that aside here. We're going to do another one just to show you. All right, once again, water chestnut right inside the shrimp. Okay. Bacon. Wrap it right around. Just like that. And a toothpick. Like I said, you want to get that toothpick right through the bacon, through the chestnut, and through the shrimp. Okay, so it keeps its form. There we are. Okay, I don't know if I can show you. All right. Okay, we have a few more there, but that's okay. Now, when you're finished with your shrimp and it's cooked, that's what it's going to look like, folks. Let me show you. Okay? And aren't they beautiful? And people really enjoy these. Another seafood you can use is also scallops. People like scallops, and what you do is you cut a scallop down the center and put the water chestnut in that way. Okay, hold on, Reed. Let me make the sauce for it.
Oh,
The sauce is real simple.
more to come?
There is more to come. What I've done is I've softened some cream cheese, and for about 26-30, you're going to want to have about 4 ounces of cream cheese. All right. Now I'm going to use just a tiny bit, not much, maybe. Oh, you could use garlic powder and use maybe about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Add that to the cream cheese. All right, but I'm using fresh garlic for this purpose. I prefer to use everything fresh, okay, than use dried. But it's perfectly acceptable to use dried spices and herbs. Okay, now I'm going to take about a teaspoon of horseradish. Okay, I'm going to add that to the cream cheese. All right, we're going to give it a quick mix. Make sure that horseradish gets well melded with that cream cheese. There we go.
But you're going to put some lemon in it too.
I'm going to put, no, just a little bit of oil,
Oh, okay.
just to give it a little liquid so it can mix well. You can also use here a little heavy cream instead of oil, or even some half and half. But you want it just a little liquid so that mixes up right. There we go. And so you want a nice little dipping sauce for your for your bacon wrapped shrimp. Some people like to top it with this when they serve it. I like to serve it on the side so they can put on what they want as far as how much. But I'll show you. All right, now a little salt and pepper for taste, a little more flavor, and it accentuates everything. Just make sure you don't use too much salt. A lot of people over salt, and it's not a good thing. Okay, there we go. And here's the sauce, and I will place that right on top for you, Reed. Just like that. There we go. Like I said, I like to give it a little.
All right, I'm not going to.
And give that a taste. Mm-hmm. That is a bacon wrapped shrimp. Very simple, very easy. Like I said, 26 30-count shrimp. What? Sorry. Mm-hmm. 26 30-count shrimp. Bacon. For 26 30 shrimp, you'll need about a pound of bacon. Take the slices and cut them in half. All right. Now you want to make sure that it's half cooked, the bacon, when you start, or else you're going to have raw bacon and cooked shrimp. So then for the dipping sauce, you're going to use.
Towel, would you please?
Sure, Reed. You'll be using sure cream cheese and horseradish, salt, pepper, just a little oil or some heavy cream to give it a little liquid form. And that's it. That's a bacon wrapped shrimp. Very simple.
And it is good.
And as far as cooking it in the oven, you're going to want to get your temperature to about 450, 475. Give them about 6 minutes on a cookie sheet. 6, 7 minutes. Or until you can see that the shrimp are done and the bacon is nice and crispy, just like those, Reed. All right? Okay. Now finally, we have one last thing. This is a very, very easy hors d'oeuvre, but keeping in the Christmas season, they're red and white, okay? Now, what we take is go to your deli and ask for salami, all right? And you can use a Genoa salami, just a standard salami, a capicola, whatever you prefer, all right? Now, it's a nice circular piece. Once again, I've taken a little cream cheese, softened it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread that all over the salami, just like this, okay? Real simple. Just about the simplest hors d'oeuvre you can make for your friends, but like I said, they look really neat when you're done. Okay, then you take another piece of salami,
And do the same, and we got a
put it
phone
on,
call.
and repeat.
And I got a phone call for you.
Alrighty.
So you're repeating there. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning. Enjoying the cooking here. I have a question for you, guest, if I may.
Sure.
Could he tell us perhaps what the cost would be for like 6 people per hors d'oeuvre, just to give us an idea of what we're getting ourselves into?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, the price of shrimp have gone up dramatically. I don't know if everyone has noticed. Your shrimp will cost you on a 26-30 count about $10 a pound now. 2 years ago it was about $6 a pound. But we have no inflation, folks.
No, right. Especially under Social Security.
Okay. Now the bacon, of course, it's 1 pound of bacon, so that's about $4. Sometimes you can catch it on sale and maybe get it for about $3.50 a pound. But generally, you're going to pay about $4 a pound for a bacon. Your water chestnuts, about $1. And your cream cheese mixer, probably about another $1. So you're looking at, for 6 people, on the bacon wrapped shrimp, about $15, $16 is what you'll end up for 6 people. The bruschetta, actually a lot less. You'll probably be paying, the most expensive part of that is the fresh basil. Okay, and of course tomatoes now are about $2 a pound. Crazy. Especially something that you can grow your own.
At Aldi's, they are 99 cents for the aromas, I might add.
Wow, that's a good
I
price.
just bought some yesterday.
Okay. So on the bruschetta for 6 people, the baguette, they get you pretty good for the baguettes. The French baguettes run you about $2.50, $3 is what they'll charge for this. Your tomatoes about another $1, your fresh basil too. So you're looking at about $8 total to serve about 6 people on the bruschetta. This is relatively cheap. This one, the one I'm making here, and like I said, it's very flavorful and super easy. Anyone can do this. Your 5-year-old kids can do this one. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm putting the salami down. I'm layering it with cream cheese, and that's it. Just cream cheese. All right. And I'm on my 3rd layer now. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one more layer here, folks. Any other questions, caller?
Guess that's
I guess the caller's gone now. Okay. All right. Now one more layer. We're just going to top it now. Okay. Now, folks, just to show you, we are going to slice it right down the middle. All right. Then we're going to make little triangles. I like triangles. You can make whatever shape you want, I guess, but I like to make triangles. Okay. There we are. And voila.
There you go.
You have layers. Can't see this too well, but you have layers of cream cheese in between fresh salami, and very decorative, easy to make, and people really will enjoy them, believe me.
I'll eat one.
Yep. Give one a try, Reed.
See how they taste.
I'll give one a try as well.
Very good.
They are excellent. For some reason,
Will you?
sure, the cream cheese and the salami are a very good pairing.
We'll have to do the show again.
Okay, folks, voila. I've gone through 4 hors d'oeuvres in under 40 minutes.
You still have almost 11 minutes left.
Oh, wow. We've done 4 hors d'oeuvres in a half an hour there.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about making hors d'oeuvres, will you?
Okay. Well, hors d'oeuvres are enjoyable any time of the year, Reed. I love to entertain, so when you have friends and guests come over, of course I always like to put out 2 or 3 hors d'oeuvres before we have dinner or anything else, cocktails. They're nice and easy. People love finger food. They love stuff that's just simple that they can pop in their mouth and keep going.
Well, now you can buy them made up already, too, can't you?
You can. I'm sure several of the supermarkets do have hors d'oeuvres all freshly made. But it's just fun. It's fun, especially with children, to get together. I mean, how many times, and people love to make cookies and brownies with their kids. Well, you can make hors d'oeuvres with your kids. You can show them. It's never too early to teach somebody how to cook. A lot of hors d'oeuvres, there's really no baking or cooking involved. Like I just showed you here, the only thing you do with the bruschetta is lightly toast the baguette before you put the spread on top. So, I mean, relatively, for oven use, you pretty much keep it down to a minimum with most hors d'oeuvres, Reed. The shrimp, though, you do have to cook those. Not very good raw, I'm sure. And the bacon, you shouldn't eat raw bacon. And
Where did you go to culinary school? You once told me Mom's Kitchen.
yeah. Basically, yes, Mom's Kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I learned a lot from Mom. She was a great
Great chef.
Yep, great chef herself by her own right.
Gourmet.
I had the privilege after college, when I moved back down to Long Island, I managed a French restaurant called the Rose Cottage in Amityville, New York. And she wasn't doing so well when I first got there, so I agreed, instead of taking manager's salary, and I was also the maitre d' of the restaurant, what she would do is she would give me private cooking lessons about 10 hours a week, one-on-one. All right. Now, Rose Albano was a CIA graduate, as well as a instructor.
She was a spook?
No, the different CIA. This is a Culinary Institute of America down in New York City, Reed. Okay. And she was an instructor, and like I said, I would get one-on-one training with her, and we did this for about 2 years. So the experience was wonderful. I can say, as far as being in a classroom, this was much more educational, being one-on-one and watching her do everything right there in the restaurant. So yeah, that was pretty much my background. From there, I just cooked in a few restaurants, and I've been a private chef in Chautauqua for the last 6 seasons.
For Jack Bailey. And
For Jack and Kay Bailey, correct.
Who are wonderful people.
Yes, they are. But
he teaches jazz over there, doesn't he?
yeah, he does a jazz workshop.
And he's in his 80s.
Yeah, I believe he's about 87, 88 years old now.
They're telling me I should put my mic on.
Yeah, that might help, Reed. But yeah, he does a jazz workshop 1 week of the season. And anyone can look online of the Chautauqua Institution schedule, and they can see when he teaches that class. And it's open to people outside the Institute, I believe, also.
Anybody can just walk in?
Well, you can walk in, but you'll only have probably a workshop pass, so you can just go to the class.
Okay, we got a phone caller. Want to
Sure.
take a call?
Sure.
Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning, Reed.
Well, hi, thank you for waiting.
Oh, and good morning, Jim. It's so wonderful to see this going on, these cooking activities.
Oh, boy. Thank you.
You know, I went to the School of Mom's Kitchen, too.
Oh.
And I started cooking and baking long before I went to school.
Really?
Really?
What were you cooking and baking when you were a little girl?
Well, we all participated in getting the dinner ready. You know, eating was very important in our family. It was a time of wonderful food, creativity, and conversation at the dinner table.
Well,
It was really very special. And I can remember working side by side with my mother and my grandmother and grandfather, helping with things, peeling potatoes, and even baking cupcakes, I think, when I was around 6 years old. My mother put it in the oven, but I mixed the ingredients.
oh, okay. Well, how about Doug now? Was he a good chef?
He was a wonderful chef.
That's great.
He made the most wonderful chili, meatloaf, Yankee pot
I
roast.
love a good chili.
Yeah. Oh, his was the best.
Doug Spalding we're talking about. What a guy. What a champion.
But I'm loving the show. I wish I were up there to taste the goodies.
Well, I've been eating
Come on,
most
come
of
on up.
it.
Yeah, actually, the plate's pretty much cleaned out now.
You will have trouble getting up the hill, though, believe me.
I've been getting in and out. I know the secret routes to get out of here successfully.
Well, I'll tell you, I had an awful time getting up here. Boy, the skidding, it's slippery out, kiddo.
Yep.
Well, you know, last night was particularly hazardous because there was rain and sleet mixed with the snow.
Yeah, that's what really slicks up the road, isn't it?
Yeah, and ice was forming on the windshield as you were driving, and it was just about impossible to keep up with it.
Gee, what were you doing out in the middle of the night?
I wasn't out in the middle of the night.
Oh.
It gets dark early. I was coming home from work.
Tell me about your work now. You have an operation there the seniors should know about, huh?
The senior employment program, we have openings. They pay minimum wage right now. It's 20 hours a week. They work at not-for-profit places in hopes of finding a better job. We have computer training that are the computer training is free. It's introductory for people who are a little apprehensive about using a computer or have never been on one. It's one-on-one. It's called Generations Online. We have training in Westfield at the Patterson Library, and also in Jamestown at the Office for the Aging, in Dunkirk at the Dunkirk Free Library.
There you go. And for any seniors, of course, this is a great way to keep in touch with your kids, you know?
It is. It's a great situation, and I think I've mentioned that we've trained over 1,000 people since we started.
Okay, well now, Linda, are they fishing on the lake yet?
Well, I don't think they can fish yet, but the lake is freezing. But they will be doing early ice fishing, I'm sure. I can't remember when Chautauqua Lake started to freeze up so soon.
Yeah, well, I heard that there are places that are frozen, but you've got to be awfully careful on Lake Chautauqua.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It can be treacherous.
Yeah, well, especially where a creek comes in and you don't even know it. Because
I know it.
That keeps the ice thin under it.
Yes.
And you'll go sweeping along, suddenly your snowmobile's underwater with you on it.
Yeah. You've got to be really careful.
Very
on that
careful.
lake. Yeah.
Okay, well, Linda Spalding, thank you very much for your input. Give us a quick resume again of where they can get information about the computer.
All right, and thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'm enjoying the show, and I'm sure I'm going to be jotting these recipes down.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Linda Spalding.
Okay.
Very good. Jim, you're on.
Okay, just a few more minutes. So let me just go over briefly for your guacamole. You want 1 avocado, ripe, okay, a teaspoon of lemon, about 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro chopped, salt, pepper, fresh onions. Use about 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of that chopped as well. And you can use a medium tomato, diced, or like what I like to do, and it adds a little extra liquid to the guacamole, is salsa. I use a medium salsa, just give it a little heat. And finally, about 1 ounce or 1 dollop of sour cream and salt and pepper to taste. Reed?
You mash it all together.
Mash it all together. Mix everything all together. Okay, the bacon wrapped shrimp, you used sliced water chestnuts, 26 30-count shrimp, 1 pound of bacon, and for the sauce, just a touch of fresh garlic, cream cheese, 4 ounces of cream cheese, salt, pepper, and about a tablespoon of horseradish.
Sounds like a great cocktail sauce.
Oh,
But it's white.
it's actually, yes, it's a white, creamy, nice sauce. Or you can use heavy cream, just to mix it up and make it a little more palatable.
Uh-oh. We're out of here.
Oh, boy.
You got 30 seconds to wrap up.
Okay, well, I'd just like to say, folks, have a wonderful Christmas season. Enjoy the holiday with friends and family. And if I can tell you, hors d'oeuvres and cooking, if you keep it simple, can be wonderful. All right? I've showed you 4 easy, nice hors d'oeuvres today that you can prepare. You have your bruschetta, you have your avocado guacamole, you have your salami with cream cheese wrapped, and then we made the bacon wrapped shrimp with a horseradish sauce.
Can't beat it. Thank you, Jim Powers.
You're welcome, Reed.
Chef Powers, doing the
you.
job. Will you come back again?
Sure.
Give us some other dirt, maybe, or something else. Every time you come, it's great. You did. I remember you did chicken and steak last time.
Yep, we did. We made a steak au poivre, and we made a, what kind of chicken did we make?
Well, whatever it was, chicken breast. Okay, thanks a lot. And thank you, caller. Sorry you won't have a chance to come on this time, but Jim will be back. You can ask him your questions. I want to say, get out there and enjoy the beautiful, beautiful winter weather we have, but be careful. Driving is awfully treacherous. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you on this beautiful wintry day in Chautauqua County. I'm Reed Powers.